Holy Trinity.
At least 145 years have passed since foreign religion was introduced to Kabaka's court, but the relationship between the seat of Kabaka at Mengo and the three dominant religions, the Anglican, Islam and Catholic faiths, have remained instrumental. Mengo establishment is welded to two of Uganda's powerful religions, and no one can talk about the two churches without Mengo coming into the picture. This brings us to how the three religions acquired land and the strategic sites at the heart of Kampala city, where they built their churches and mosques, portraying the triangular dilemma that caused mayhem in 1886.
Mutesa I, thought of saying, no, my society must change. We must have civilization.
Rubaga Hill, on which Rubaga Cathedral is built, was Kabaka Muwanga I's palace before he shifted to Mengo Hill, after the place has been razed by a mysterious fire. His son Muwanga, in 1889, gave up the land his father had abandoned to the French Catholic missionaries, commonly known as White Fathers, who were laying ground for the banding Catholic Church in the country. Under the 1900 Buganda Agreement, Buganda had 24 square miles of land at Chibuli, Kawempe and Nakawa, which land was given to Mbogo and his adherents, who in turn dedicated the land to the expansion of Islam. Uganda, being a British protectorate at the time, available Ruchiko records from 1894 to 1918, it was clearly indicated the extent to which Mbogo and Muslim advocates were required to negotiate the construction of mosques within predominantly Christian counties. However, there are two contradicting theories on how Namirembe Hill, on which the behemoth St. Paul Cathedral is constructed, was dished out to the missionaries. The first historic theory contains that the hill in question was donated to the Anglican missionaries by Kabaka Muwanga I Mukabya wa Lugembe. On the other hand of history, it is believed that Namirembe Hill was allocated to the missionaries by Katikiro Sir Apollo Kagwa. Sir Apollo Kagwa gave out Namirembe Hill after noticing that Anglicans had no recognized site for worshipping, yet Catholics and Muslims had already acquired.
At that time, the Catholics were very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. And Apollo Kagwa being a Protestant, and was going there to church every Sunday at Namirembe. So they eventually, it became the headquarters of the Protestant church.
What remains unclear to many is how the first Anglican missionaries in Uganda, She Goldsmith and C.T. Wilson of the Church Missionary Society, who were the pioneer of European missionaries to Uganda, failed to convince Kabaka Muwanga to be the first to acquire land for the behemoth St. Paul Cathedral at Namirembe in 1877, when they first met Kabaka Muwanga I at his Rubaga Hill court. Unlike their Catholic missionaries colleagues, Simeon Laudel, famously known as Mapera, and Brother Delmas Amansi, who had arrived later in 1879, historians say the order in which these two sets of missionaries arrived has come to define the relationship that two religions have had with Mengo. It is believed that before the allocation of sites, Kabaka Muwanga I knew what kind of teachings his subjects were receiving and was not suspicious. After his subjects had been enlightened with the gospel teachings, knowing and understanding Christianity, started disobeying the Kabaka, and this resulted into religious wars and killings after his death in 1884.
And now your the servants, your servants are all against they don't listen to what you are telling them. You know, that is exactly true. The king at that time ordering their slaughter because of that.
Despite Buganda Kingdom allocating all these religious sites, it has distanced itself from influencing the selection of bishops picked for leadership.
In the past, except now, now it has died away. The Protestant influencing the leadership at Mengo is no longer there.
Oweekitiibwa Robert Kasule Sebunya highlights how missionaries built seminars which provided gospel teachings to Africans that were interested in faith leadership. These, upon completion, became cachets, lay leaders and priests in churches and in colonial administrations. The Orthodox faith was the last religion to acquire the Namongona Hill in the 90s, after holding talks between Kabaka Muwanga II and the White Fathers.
So they must have negotiated with the Kabaka and gave them Namongona.
Whereas the triangular religious supremacy sparked religious wars in Buganda, the April 11, 1892 agreement further tore the kingdom on religious grounds. The Catholics were given Buddu, which includes present-day Massacre area, Maokota, the islands of Lulamba and Serinya, and later Buwekula and parts of Singo. The Muslims were given Gomba, Busuju and Butambala, but lost the first two a year later to the Protestants and the Catholics, respectively, when their June 1893 uprising was defeated, and the Protestants were given Singo, Chagwe, Bulemezi, Chadondo and Busiro. Unlike the other territories, the Protestant areas remained open to covenants to the other faiths as long as they were unarmed. This small footnote in Uganda's history could perhaps explain why Catholics abound in the Massacre area and Muslims in Butambala. Despite the reality of a triangular power of religious supremacy in Buganda, with Catholics occupying Lubaga Hill as the headquarters, Anglicans occupying Namirembe Hill as their cathedral headquarters, and traditional Muslims occupying Chibuli Hill as the springboard of Islam in Uganda. This triangular religious supremacy defines the current sharing of political power in Uganda, though the Anglicans still hold a strong forefeet on the political governance of the British Protectorate in the post-colonial Uganda. Lydia Chomkama, Stephen Kalisa, UBC News.